300 years of Spanish colonization, Mexico became one of the very first Latin American countries to declare its independence on September 16, 1810. This led to an extremely bloody 11-year war against the Spanish Empire. However, after this long struggle, Mexicans have become one of the most proud and patriotic countries I've ever visited. Come with me as I experience Independence Day celebrations for 48 hours in Mexico City. All travelers know that a good trip always begins with a delicious meal, so I decided to try a local churro place that had really good reviews named El Moro Centro.
Querría el paquete número 1, centro palante. Caliente. Okay, I just got my churros and hot chocolate here. Honestly, the churros are a lot bigger than I was expecting them to be. They're like really long. It's crazy. Okay, let's try it. Very cinnamony. It's really good. It's actually less creamy in the middle than I thought it was going to be, but it's really good.
Around Mexico City, they had these little kiosks selling flags, so I decided to get one to prepare for the main event that would happen later that night.
So right now I'm at this big walking street. It's called Avenida Francisco Madero, and it reminds me a lot of like Istiklal Street in Turkey, in Istanbul. And I'm at this beautiful museum right here, so we're gonna go take a look.
At the Banamex Museum, they had a special exhibition for Miguel Covarrubias, who is one of Mexico's most famous artists and also one of the co-discoverers of the Olmec civilization. Covarrubias moved to New York when he was 19 and fell in love with Harlem jazz while in the US. Later, when he got married, he went to Bali on an extended honeymoon. He also spent a significant amount of time in China, and I was impressed at how well he mastered so many different styles of art. Mexico is covered with beautiful museums, and almost all of them are free. Tons of people go to the Frida Kahlo Museum, which costs 325 pesos per ticket. But I decided not to go since I heard it was always extremely crowded, and there are so many other good museums that are free, including the famous Sumaya Museum that was founded by Carlos Slim, the richest man in Mexico.
Okay, so now we're getting to the part where the real celebration begins. We're headed to this place called Zócalo, which is like the main center square here in Mexico City. There are actually so many people here, but it's cool because the President of Mexico usually does this thing called the Grito at the end at like 11 p.m. tonight. There we go. There's some salsa on it.
On the eve of September 16th, a Roman Catholic priest named Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla rang the bell of his church in Dolores, Mexico, and gave a call to arms that is considered the beginning of the Mexican War of Independence. This came to be known as the Grito de Dolores, or the Grito de Independencia, and every year the President of Mexico reenacts this scene from Mexico's history by honoring fallen heroes from the war and finishes by shouting Viva Mexico 3 times.
Mexicanas! Mexicanos!
This experience was extremely moving for me for many reasons. First, it was the first ever grito by a female president since Claudia Sheinbaum was just recently elected on October 1st, 2024. Her calls at the end of her speech for justice and equality also hit me really hard because of the very turbulent political situation in the United States right now. But I didn't have too much time to think about it because I was immediately enveloped in the most incredible fireworks show I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen fireworks that close to me, and also never seen fireworks all around me like this. It was a magical experience, and I'm so glad I stood there waiting for nearly 4 hours to experience it. That was the coolest fireworks show I've ever seen in my life. So we just arrived in the middle of Mexico City for the giant parade. There's a giant, it's not a military parade, they call it a civic parade, but it's mostly military stuff. And it goes down the middle of the road here in Mexico City. It's really pretty. Event of the Mexican Independence Day, going to Lucha Libre. Just got my Místico mask, ready to go. It's gonna be fun. Celebrating local holidays is one of the best ways to understand a culture. Not only do you get to see the unique ways that people celebrate their culture, but you also get to try many local foods that are sometimes not available at other times of the year. It's also incredibly moving to experience the holiday spirit and connect with the local community.